Hey, today's video, how to grow corn at home. That's right. You can start corn from seed, or you can go ahead and start them from your starts. I decided to do it differently this year to see if I can come up with a better result. Let me move this to the side. First thing, corn is a heavy feeder. So we got to make sure that we feed this corn. Corn is in the same family as grass in that relation. So we know it needs a lot of nitrogen. Now I layered this bed about a month and a half ago with blood meal. Now I'm going to put tomato tone because I don't have any more blood meal, but I will be getting some more. So all you're gonna do is broadcast your blood meal or tomato tone out. And I already know where my lines are marked out for my rows. And I'll go ahead and get into that. My rows are gonna be 10 inches apart. Since I'm growing in a raised bed, I can bring them closer together, and you're gonna want that them to be kind of close so that they can be pollinated. But we'll talk about that a little later. All right, so I'm just working my way all the way down, and once I get finished, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix this in so that it can go ahead and start the breaking down process. It's gonna be breaking down over time. So this is a slow release fertilizer. Now, once I get my plants into the ground, I'm gonna hit them with fish fertilizer a lot. Now, in the past, I've gotten corn to grow last year. It started, and then I backed off of it. Do not stop with your fertilizer. And I'm going to fertilize them probably once a week with my fertilizer, my fish emulsion, and I make it so it's not going to break the bank. It's not that expensive either. So just mix it in so we can go to the next step. Also, with the fertilizer, you can come back after you fertilize and got your plants in the ground. You can go ahead and put compost in between or close by the plants, because since they are a heavy feeder, they're going to love all of that, and I'm going to do that as well. Now I'm also going to put some of my mycorrhiza on the roots before I go ahead and plant them in. And I probably won't do that for all the plants, but I want to see how many I can get to. I will put a link down in the description. I use this for just about all my plants. Seems to work very well. So I said might as well try it with my corn, because I'm definitely getting corn this year. Now I'm going to be planting these 4 to 5 inches apart, because I don't want to get them too far apart, but I don't want them too close together. But I want to make sure that they are wind pollinated. So that's why I'm going 4 to 5 inches apart. And the reason why I'm going with the starts this time is because when I plant all my seeds out, you know, you have to thin them out. But I had spotty germination. If you're gonna go by seed, which is cool, because I've done that in the past, you want to make sure that the temperatures is right. 65 to 70 degrees for the soil. I probably will wait on the lines of 70 degrees, but now I already know that I can plant these where I want them, and I don't have to worry about the spotty germination. I got seeds here, and then I got a big old gap. That's why I'm going with the actual starts this year. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put some more in the ground, and then I'll get back with you in a second. But one other tip I want to give you, because I had a hard time with this at the beginning, I just learned this. I went ahead, let me see if you can see this. I went ahead and bottom water these for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. You can see it's kind of wet because I was having a hard time getting them out. So when I decided to try that, all you do is squeeze the bottom, and then they slide right out. So if you're gonna go this route, you may want to put them in some water at the bottom, and then water from the bottom for like 4 or 5 minutes. Then they'll be easy to slide out once you press gently, so you don't want to disturb the roots. All right, so let me put some more mycorrhiza on here, and then I'm gonna slide it in its new home. Hey, you see all the corn is in place. Let me bring you in close so you can get a closer look. All right, as you can see, I have the corn 10 inches apart in the rows, and I got them 4 to 5 inches, just like I said, apart. All right, so next thing we got to do is water the corn in, because They drink a lot of water. All right, now when you water, you're supposed to get an inch or inch and a half of water on the corn plants per week. But since we're in a raised bed, I'm gonna try to shoot for a little more than that, because the raised beds, they tend to dry out a lot quicker just because they're raised up and the heat is going to really get to them. All right, now here's the thing that I'm thinking about doing also to help with keeping this moist. I'm thinking about using a mulch. Now I got to cut my grass either today or tomorrow, and I'm gonna think about bagging that, and then I'm gonna place it over top. So now it's going to try to hold in the moisture, but it's also going to be breaking down over time to help feed the plants. Like I said, I'm gonna try to feed these as much as possible. And also, speaking with feeding, I'm going to use my favorite compost tea. That's the Boogie Brew compost, and I'll put a link in the description as well. If you have been following my channel, you know that I use the Boogie Brew a lot as well. So I'm gonna make sure they get exactly what they need. I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna try to overfeed them, if that makes sense. Now, when you get ready to plant your corn, I didn't say this, make sure your corn is of the same variety. All right, so I'm not going to mix varieties in my raised bed. I'm not gonna do that, because when they cross-pollinate, it's not gonna pollinate right. You're gonna have spotty kernels, and you're gonna have a bad looking corn. So make sure, if you want to have another variety of corn, put it way on the other side of your garden so that they don't cross-pollinate, and then you have issues with that. That's important. The next thing that you want to be mindful of, and I'm about to be out here hard and heavy. The corn, we already know, is a heavy feeder. I'm gonna keep saying that. So we got to make sure that we take all the weeds out. And this bed, before you saw it, I had to take all the weeds out. And this bed is gonna have a lot of weeds, like they call this the passion fruit. I got it all through the garden. That's just my nemesis. All right, so every time you see the weeds coming up, you want to go ahead and take that out, because the weed is going to take the food from the corn, and we don't want that. All right, so that is critical. Make sure you weed. Now, as far as having critters in the garden, I know all too well about that. All right, deer, if you have a fence, so I'm not going to pretty much have to worry about deer, because I do have a fence. It's all fenced in. If you don't have a fence, you can make a protection border. You can put posts all around your corn area, and then you can take fishing line. I've heard people say that works. So, and wrap it around, but because the deer can't see it. Now, I'm just giving you some tips that I've heard. I've never used it because, like you saw, I have a fence. But you could try that, and that's about all I can tell you for that. Now, I've been dealing with voles. Hopefully they don't come in here, but I also have vole traps that I set. So if I see that there's holes into the ground of my corn, then I'm gonna go ahead and I put those traps out, and I can put a link to the video at the end to show you how I trap for voles. Now, I know I said in the beginning of the video that I was gonna make an irrigation system for this box. A lot of things happened, so I decided against that. So this is my irrigation system. I come out and I'm watering it, since it's just a small area. And so I will have another video about my fertilization and making sure that I start to stake these up. So look out for that video. And also, I am working on an irrigation partnership that maybe should be coming out in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I want to test it out, and I think it's pretty good so far. And I will be going to irrigation for my entire garden, and I'll tell you more about why I'm gonna do that in that video. So far, this is what I'm doing. My corn is nice and green. Hopefully it'll stay that way. So be looking out for the next video, and I'll see you soon. Let me get finished watering.